Hey everyone, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today's video I want to go back and take a look at the Paramount Presents Blu-ray line. They've been putting out some really cool stuff, and I want to talk about those, how I feel about all these different transfers they're putting out there, and what I think the future of this series really should be. Hey everyone, so thanks for coming back to the channel today. For today's video, like I said, we're talking Paramount Presents. Quick background on Paramount Presents. This is a new Blu-ray line from Paramount. They're going through their back catalog and releasing a lot of movies on Blu-ray that are fairly popular from their back catalog, but aren't necessarily their best sellers. So their first few were To Catch a Thief, King Creole, and Fatal Attraction. Since then, they've released some titles like Flashdance. I've got Pretty in Pink here, Airplane, and Roman Holiday. These are some of the more recent ones that I've picked up. And the cool thing about Paramount Presents is that they're giving you this sort of unique packaging. You get a clear case, you get a fold-out slipcover with the poster. You get a lot of nice things with this, and a decent amount of special features, often new special features. And so it's sort of a contender, in that same vein as Arrow Academy, as the Shout Select, not so much Criterion, but in that vein, right? It's in that same vein. And each of these is getting a new 4K transfer when they're putting them out there. So that's a little background on the label, what Paramount Presents is all about. And I did do a full video on this a few months back when they first announced it. So if you want to learn more, go watch that video. It's on my channel. Search Paramount Presents and you'll find it. But what I want to talk about today is sort of some of the complaints I've seen about Paramount Presents, some of the things myself that I have complained about, and talk a little bit about how I feel about this label and where I think its future is going. So if you watched any of my reviews, you know my first review of a Paramount Presents title was for To Catch a Thief. And I really didn't love the 4K transfer on To Catch a Thief. Now again, remember, these are all 4K transfers, but they're not 4K discs. They're going on 1080p Blu-ray discs, even though they're 4K transfers. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I didn't love To Catch a Thief, and my main complaint was really that it looked like there was some digital noise reduction, looked like there were a few kind of wonky things with the transfer, with the colors. But I also was wondering, why not 4K? If you're going to do the 4K transfer, why not put these movies out on 4K? And that's been one of my biggest complaints with the series. But as I think about Paramount Presents more, I'm actually realizing like what they're doing here, but they're not fully hitting the vision that I think they could get to. So to explain what I'm talking about, the great thing about Paramount Presents is they've put out a lot of titles that have never had an HD physical media Blu-ray release. Regardless of 4K, they've never even made it to Blu-ray. One of those was Pretty in Pink. This is its Blu-ray debut. Roman Holiday, another classic movie, and King Creole was another one from the series that had never had a Blu-ray release before. So by doing that, Paramount Presents is still promoting physical media, still giving us an excellent 4K transfer in many of these cases. To Catch a Thief was definitely an outlier as I've looked through more of these releases. They're really nice 4K transfers, but they're giving us that physical media format and they're keeping it alive by promoting their back catalog. Something that we have complained about with Disney and Fox, the fact that they're not promoting physical media, they're putting their back catalog on streaming, and they're not doing any more back catalog titles on Blu-ray or 4K physical media.
Boom. Roasted.
It's been a real problem and a real concern. So Paramount, by doing this, is doing us a real favor. And I can understand why they're not going to 4K, because certainly, Roman Holiday is a classic movie, but is this going to sell in crazy numbers on 4K? Probably not. Pretty in Pink, same thing, probably not. These are not going to sell the same way that a movie like Jaws or The Shining, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Full Metal Jacket, any of those like higher end 4K movies, even some of the other stuff Paramount's done, like Top Gun and the Tom Cruise movies, Days of Thunder, War of the Worlds, those are going to sell more on 4K than these titles. They're blockbusters, they're bigger movies, they have more of a following. But the great thing about Paramount Presents is that we can still get those HD 4K transfers on these Blu-ray discs and own these movies on physical media so that we don't have to go to a streaming service to watch them. And that's where I think Paramount Presents should really find its niche. I don't think that they should be competing with 4K releases, and I honestly don't find much value in a release like Airplane. Now, this has some new special features and it has a new 4K transfer. So is it the best it's ever looked on Blu-ray? Yes. But this is a movie that I'd either rather see them skip or just see them put out on 4K if you're going to do the transfer. And I'd rather see them spend time with this label doing the Roman holidays, doing the Pretty in Pink, the King Creole, things that we're otherwise not going to get on any form of physical media above DVD. It would be great just to have a Blu-ray, a 1080p, high quality with a 4K transfer, good audio. It would be great just to have that on a Blu-ray disc when our only other option is DVD, an old VHS tape, or really low quality streaming. Even in HD, streaming is terrible in my opinion. So I always want these high quality items, and that's where Paramount Presents could do the best work with this line. I'd love to see them do more movies that have never had a Blu-ray release. And they are getting there a little bit. Another one they have coming out is Eddie Murphy's Golden Child. But interestingly enough, the other Eddie Murphy movies like Coming to America and Beverly Hills Cop are actually going to get a 4K physical release after they were originally released on 4K digital. So it just seems like Paramount isn't 100% sure yet. Are we going to 4K physical? Should we do 4K digital only and do Blu-ray releases of these 4K transfers? It just feels like they're kind of in a middle ground and don't know what they want. But if I had any advice to them, it is to completely focus on your back catalog and on those titles that have never had a Blu-ray. There are still a vast majority of collectors out there who are watching and enjoying Blu-ray movies. 4K is a very small portion of the collector market, or the physical media market alone. It's only like 6 or 7%. DVD takes up 50% and Blu-ray has the rest. So Blu-ray is still a much better seller than 4K. And so if your choice is either to give me Roman Holiday on 4K digital or give me Roman Holiday with a 4K transfer on Blu-ray, I'm taking that Blu-ray and I'm not complaining, because I do think that's probably the line that they're drawing. They're either going to go to digital only or we're going to get that Blu-ray copy, and they're going to save a little bit on not having to do a 4K disc and some of the HDR color grading, but we're still getting an awesome 4K transfer. You know, it's not always about everything needs to be on a 4K disc, and that's one point I do want to make. Now, of course, I want to see Jaws, and I want to see those classic movies, Lawrence of Arabia and Spartacus, and, you know, all the Columbia Classics collection. Having those on 4K is awesome. But, like I said, if my choice is 4K digital or a 4K transfer on a 1080p Blu-ray, I'll take my physical media any day, because I still think that a 4K transfer, even on a 1080p Blu-ray, looks better than a 4K digital because of all the compression, and especially better than a 4K stream. Just my opinion, but give me the disc any day over a stream or a digital copy, and I'm happy. And so that's where I've gotten more excited about Paramount Presents, because I'm seeing more of these movies that have been requested finally get an HD Blu-ray release, physical media, and that's what we love. So I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts on Paramount Presents. I've talked about them in a lot of different videos because they are this new line, but I haven't really dove into them since I did my first initial few reviews. So this is just a little recap on that line, what I think about it, what their future should be. Hopefully, if Paramount's watching this, you know, go for more of this. Go for more movies that are in your back catalog, which is huge. Paramount has a massive back catalog of movies they could put out, and give us just a Blu-ray release will make us happy. Not everything needs to be on 4K, although your bigger titles, you should definitely consider that 4K treatment, because I think they will sell at least well enough to make your money back, and you'll make a lot of collectors happy. But overall, Paramount Presents is a really nice line. I'm really enjoying the movies that are coming out on this line. I'm enjoying the transfers, the audio, the special features that are added in here. It's nothing over the top and crazy, but it's just nice to see a major studio like Paramount supporting physical media and supporting, you know, their back catalog and all these old titles, when others like Disney and now Fox, after the acquisition, are just getting slammed and not allowing those movies to be shown on physical media for whatever reason, because of cost or their bottom line. And I think it's just really not a good move. It's selfish for the collectors out there. There's still plenty of us that want physical, and Paramount's done a good job. So overall, I give them props. I was harsh on them in the beginning for not having 4K Blu-rays, but I understand why they're doing it, and the work they're doing is great. And as long as they keep giving us previously unreleased movies on Blu-ray, I will be a happy camper. So thanks for watching this. Hopefully this gives you a little rundown on what's available, what's in this line. I'll leave a few links to Amazon in the description where you can purchase some of these Paramount Presents titles. Those do help support my channel. Anything you buy on Amazon helps support my channel if you use my links. But make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you're subscribed and up to date with all your notifications on, and like this video. That's the greatest way to support my channel, is liking the videos, commenting, and sharing them online. And I appreciate every last person who does that. We've been growing like crazy, and I want to keep that up. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon.